All right, people, you know what time it is. It's time for me to once again react to rockers reacting, courtesy of our friends at Revolver. Once again, hats off to the content team at Revolver for just milking every possible piece of content that they could out of this one photo shoot. How many videos have they made now from this same photo shoot? I don't know, but shout out to them. Job well done. Let's see what your favorite rockers have to say about the heaviest riff of all time. It better be Headstrong by Trapped. If nobody says Headstrong by Trapped, I'm going to throw my computer through a wall. I promise. Don't let me down, rockers. Don't let me down. Really quick, before we go any further, have you checked out my Patreon? Patrons get early access to all my main channel videos and my podcasts. I also do giveaways sometimes. For example, I just gave away a pair of these Eargasm earplugs. And if you want me to review your music, there's a way to do that as well. All you gotta do is join at the $10 and up level. Then every month I do a call for submissions. If you want me to review something, all you gotta do is drop it in the comments of that post. Then I will review it live on Twitch and post it on Patreon for everyone to see. So if that sounds cool, hit the link in the description of this video, and I appreciate your support.
The heaviest riff of all time.
Heaviest riff.
This is a hot take. The heaviest, I gotta come up with the heaviest riff of all time right now.
Oh, you can't do that to me, man.
All the guitarists in shambles, because guitarists are biologically incapable of thinking of anything other than riffs. Riffs and gear, that's it. All they care about is riffs and buying new gear that sounds just like the gear they already have.
Such a hard question.
It's a pretty hard one.
It's a really hard question.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Probably Sabbath, because that's like what I learned heavy music
Sabbath?
with Sabbath.
Yeah, fair.
You know,
fair.
I don't know.
I've also heard you say sad but true live.
I mean, it's fair to say Sabbath, but can anyone say that Sabbath is the heaviest? I mean, Sabbath, a great band, of course. Legends, respect. But can you really say that Sabbath is the heaviest? In a world where, you know, Pantera exists? I don't think so.
Sabbath True is an extreme, like, in terms of power versus execution versus reach in the audience.
Isaac.
I agree with that. Sad but true. One of the best of all time. What I thought was amazing is, of course, you guys know American Badass by Kid Rock, right? Incredible 10 out of 10 song. And then I said, wait a minute, Metallica covered Kid Rock? Wow, that is super cool of them. I had no idea that Kid Rock was that influential, but it sounded cool when Kid Rock did the song, but it sounded even better, I think, when Metallica did it.
True.
Oh.
A close second to our song, Isaac.
Man, I really like the title track of Dehumanized, Prophecies Foretold. That was
Whoa, wow. Wow, that is a very, very deep cut. The guy from Gwar said, Prophecies Foretold by Dehumanized. I'm honestly shocked. This is a great fucking riff. I'm honestly shocked. This is a very, very deep cut. The part here. Great riff. And that snare sound. Some very top tier Texas death metal. So I'm impressed. Very, very, very good choice. Ooh, low file with Where the Slime Live. Also a good choice.
ripping one. A lot of guys probably don't know about that, but either that or anything from Deicide's Once Upon the Cross, Trick or Betrayed. That's heavy.
Okay. Deicide, I like it. I did not know that the guy from Gwar was such a death metal scholar. Respect.
Something out of Crowbar's Oddfellow Rest, something.
Crowbar, okay.
That album is
some great riffs.
Heavy. I think technically, like, the heaviest thing that I've ever heard would be just the opening riff from Bleed by Meshuggah.
Yeah, valid choice. Bleed by Meshuggah. Okay, I'll accept it. Good choice, Courtney. I'll accept it.
Makes it so heavy to me isn't just how fast the double kick is and how low the guitar is.
But by the way, do you guys remember when all the metal dorks, which I'm not saying Courtney's a metal dork, she's not one of these people, but do you guys remember when all the metal dorks would shit on like Amir and the Acacia Strain and stuff for just playing, you know, riffs, you know, all the like stupid memes about binary code and Cheerios and stuff like that. But Meshuggah is great. When Amir plays Chugga Chugga riffs, it's trash. But when Meshuggah plays the same fucking thing, oh, it's amazing. Oh, it's so amazing and great when Meshuggah does it. Totally different.
It's also the way that the riff speeds up and slows down when they're bending it. So the way that like the double kick is interfering with the guitar. It's like my husband's he's the guitar player in my band. He'd kill me if he heard how bad I did that.
Oh, that's right. Her husband Mike would gatekeep the shit out of her if he's a real rocker. Be like, oh, Courtney, what the fuck? That's not how it goes. That you were off by at least a quarter step. Jesus Christ, Courtney, give me the microphone. I'll tell you how the riff goes. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Can't believe you did this to me. Oh, that's what he would say if he was a real rocker.
That song has no business being over 2 minutes long. No human can do that for more than 2 minutes. And theirs is like, it's like 7 minutes of that.
And they do it all live.
Annihilation. I think that's the heaviest riff ever. But I'm
that's
sure
right.
I'm missing
a real rocker would divorce her over butchering the riff in this interview. If he was a real rocker, he would leave her. Sorry, Mike. I don't make the rules.
A Pantera riff or two.
It's weird because I'm trying to come up with something that's like a little less obvious or cool. I don't know. Sad but True's a badass riff.
It is.
Doesn't have to be a deep cut.
No.
American Badass, best riff of all time. I said it. By the way, you guys got to see this version of it. The best version of American Badass is this one.
No Rogaine in the propane flows. The chosen one, I'm the living proof. I'm the singer with black.
There he is. Just putting up his finger. He just seems like such an asshole. It's incredible. Best riff of all time right there. If that video didn't make you a Republican, get the fuck out of my country. That's all I have to say.
Everything that Whitechapel do, I would say. Whitechapel, yeah.
Whitechapel, okay.
The heaviest. You know, I'm an old schooler, but I have to go with
Sad but true.
Sad but true. Yeah, that's
Sad but true. Sad but true, or should we say the original version? We all know that Sad but True is a cover of Kid Rock, so I'm going to refer to Sad but True from now on as American Badass. So far, American Badass is in the lead, and I'm on board with that.
You know, hearing that riff still like, what is it, 30 years later, still like the best riff you can write. If Lars pulls it off.
Lars?
The riff in Metalingus by Alter Bridge.
Yeah, Alter Bridge,
that's
okay.
Really heavy. The opening riff.
I have to give it to that also. That's one of my favorite songs of all time.
Even though Metalingus isn't a metal band, but that riff is just, it's the heaviest riff ever.
Alter Bridge. So I was asking earlier, you know, Alter Bridge is one of these bands that's super popular, and yet you never actually hear anybody say, I listened to Alter Bridge. Now we know who's buying the Alter Bridge records. It's the boys in Bloodywood, and I am a fan of Bloodywood.
Fight me, you know.
I will with this answer. Late to this has to be hands down for me.
I don't know what that riff is.
I gotta say, Korn's Blind.
Korn, Garza loves his new metal. I mean, what do you expect from the man in the coal chamber shirt? We knew he was going to say something new metal, right? I think Blind is a great riff. It's one of the best riffs of all time. It's one of the most iconic genre-defining riffs of all time, but I don't know that I would call it heavy. So I may disagree with Garza on this one, but it is a great riff. I will agree on that.
Like, remember hearing like, there's something about that riff, that record, it's heavy. Because I'm a rhythm guitar player. There's a darkness to like a rhythm guitar player to really have the riffs feel that way and sound that way. So
he's got a valid point.
That riff that's like the darkness. And then you see it live, it's like, oh.
It's a valid point.
It's the heaviest live band of all time, to me.
Yeah, I mean, Here to Stay, I think, is the heaviest Korn song. I agree with that. Like, or Ball Tongue.
Come on. You know, come on.
All I can think of is Meshuggah Rational Gaze right now.
Dave from Weak Ham's Romans said Rational Gaze by Meshuggah. Me, as a real rocker, my favorite Meshuggah song is Future Breed Machine. That's my favorite. As far as I'm concerned, that's peak Meshuggah. But that's because I am a real rocker.
Yeah. I saw Meshuggah when I was living in Atlanta, and I hadn't moshed for like 5 years. But I was in Atlanta, and Meshuggah started playing that song, and I was like, oh my God, honey, hold my beer. And she's like, where are you going? I'm like, watch this. I go and run into the pit. I don't even know what happened. I got
Coming out of Mosh retirement.
And then the next day I would like bruise all over and everything, but worth it.
There's so many. I mean, we're probably gonna have to go back with like Rain and Blood or something.
Okay, Lizzie Hale. You say what you want about Hailstorm. You say what you want about her, but she is a real rocker. No question about that. She said Rain and Blood, which I would say very valid choice. Can't go wrong with Rain and Blood.
I mean, that's probably there. I think maybe one of the most recognizable would be Cowboys from Hell. It's such a heavy riff, especially when it kicks in. But even
agreed
like
on that.
if we're talking like outside of that subgenre, I love the riff.
But are we allowed to like Pantera anymore? I feel like he just canceled himself by praising Pantera on video. Feel like there's going to be a Reddit thread about him tomorrow saying that Hailstorm is a white supremacist band because he said something good about Pantera. So clearly he's a bigot. I feel like it's certain. He just sealed his fate. Hailstorm was canceled. He likes Cowboys from Hell.
And Check My Brain by Alice Chains.
Yes.
I think that
the finger of God.
I mean,
Pantera's a dog whistle. That's right.
those-
I got bad news, people. If you have ever listened to Pantera in your life, you are a racist. And nothing you do or say will ever change that. If you have ever heard a note of Pantera's music in your entire life, you're a white supremacist. Sorry, people. I don't make the rules.
I think we gravitate more towards like those riffs that are just like heavy and weighty rather than really flashy, right?
Well, the great thing about that riff in particular is that it moves your body physically. Like
The
if you're listening
Pantera
to it, you're
groove,
like, am I
untouchable.
stoned right
Well,
now?
what about Enter Sandman though? Like that is I mean,
or Sad But True versus Enter Sandman.
Sad but true.
Okay, as far as, like, heavy,
American
weighty,
Badass.
and, like-
Am I allowed to share questionable memes about bands that have been canceled? I feel like I can't be canceled for making off-color jokes about a canceled band, right? It's like a loophole. I can get away with it, right? It's okay. I can show this meme now that Pantera's canceled. I can show this meme. I listened to them when they were gay. You listened to them when they were racist. So there we go. Got them, people. Got them.
True, yeah. That is like one of the heaviest riffs of all time. Yeah.
Too many heavy riffs.
Actually, I will say the heaviest and catchiest riff of all time is probably Iron Man. If you think about it, like,
See, I don't agree with putting Black Sabbath on any heaviest list. I think Black Sabbath, obviously a great band. They invented metal, no question about that, but they're not the heaviest band. I don't agree with putting them on any of these lists. Sorry.
like, dude, that riff for its time was probably the heaviest. The fucking, like,
I'm just here for everyone's doing the riff. Like,
I didn't retirement though when I heard that.
Yeah.
that's what I'm here for.
Something with only one note because I love a fucking one
Ivy
note.
Lab
breakdown.
Orange.
Huh?
Ivy Lab Orange.
Yes.
What? What fucking language is he speaking?
Ivy Lab Orange.
Huh?
Ivy Lab Orange.
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry. You'll have to speak up. I don't speak English. I only speak American. I have no idea what you're saying.
Yes.
I think some of the heaviest shit probably comes from dance, because the guitars and the bass, they do things together in a heavy riff. That's great. But with a synth, you can kind of define what spectrum of frequencies you want to like.
From Dance. Some good riffs from Dance.
Heavy Lab's got a song called Orange, and when it drops, it's very simple, but very.
Maybe it's a dance song.
Face when you listen to
I don't know.
That's my
Maybe it's
recommendation.
dance.
There's a lot of electronic and like DJ bass shit that I think has the same components and attitude as metal, but he's probably a bit heavier. Just because less going on means heavier shit. Less is always
It's a good
more.
question. Are these some sort of advanced wrist accessories he's wearing? Like, or are they actual bandages? This looks like some early version of a Batman villain. He's not canon. He's just going to be in one of the spin-off movies. He worked at a factory owned by Wayne Enterprises that had really like low safety standards. And because of the factory's like crappy safety conditions, he burned both of his hands and he could never play guitar again for the rest of his life. He has to walk around for the rest of his life with these burns on his hands that will never heal. And because of that, he hates Bruce Wayne with all of his all of his soul. Yeah, he's a killer DJ. That's right. Now he's dedicated the rest of his life to destroying Bruce Wayne, and he doesn't even know that Bruce Wayne is Batman. All because of an OSHA violation. Exactly. People, I should be writing these movies. You just got a look into the mind of a creative genius. Have you ever wondered what it's like to work with a genius? You just found out, people. You just found out.
A bit heavier, just because less going on means heavier. Less is always more.
No, I'll help Karan fight you. I actually really do agree with that.
No,
I was gonna say a kill switch.
You just said you're not well versed.
No, but I would have said it's just like the heaviest verse. You think it can be anything, right? But
I think it would be.
I was gonna say something kill switch, but
late to this because
I have a much easier time understanding these Bloodywood guys than I did the British guy. The British guy, impossible to understand. The Bloodywood guy is easy.
That riff, we have heard all over Delhi. Every band was playing late to that. Every metal band.
Yeah, and then Lamb of God has a huge following in India.
Like
huge.
Okay.
I gotta go with the Gojira riff, and it'll probably be like heaviest matter of the universe.
Gojira does have great riffs. I think that's a valid pick. Gojira a bit light on the songs, but they do have great riffs.
Just the whole thing. It's just it's just that or Where Dragons Dwell. The riff of that song goes hard, dude. It's super heavy, so.
I just keep waiting for this fella here. I keep waiting for something to slip out of these short shorts. You know what I'm saying? He's just one sneeze away from having something just bloop, just pop out the side. I'm not saying that I'm waiting for it, but I might be waiting for it. Who knows? It's a surprise. You know, there's 3 options for what could peek out of those shorts, and I'm here for all 3 of them.
It's super heavy, so I go with those 2, one of those 2.
Enter 7.
I just want to find out if he's circumcised or not. That's all. Is that weird? I didn't listen to anything she said. I'm just wondering if this guy's circumcised. If that's weird, then okay, then I guess I'm the weirdo. That's me. I'm the weirdo.
Sometimes it's not the riff. Sometimes it's like...
That's true. Sometimes it's the feel. It's not the riff. Yeah.
I was actually thinking Gojira too. Flying Whales.
Flying Whales is good.
Another vote for Gojira. Flying Whales. Valid. Another one. You know what always sounds cool is when you make a riff sound with your mouth, like down out to down out to down out to down out. That always sounds really cool. Just the same as like if you watch like a Chris Rock special or something and you retell the joke to your friends. That's always great too. People love it when you retell a Chris Rock joke. They think it's hilarious. They love it. Just like it sounds really cool when you tell your friends how heavy that riff is.
Down on Laid to Rest comes in super heavy, especially live.
That's like the hardest question of all time. No. There's a good one. Domination.
Especially when you do the Chris Rock voice. Yes.
Breakdown.
Okay. I'm shocked that it took 7.5 minutes for somebody to say Domination by Pantera. I'm shocked. Maybe that's because Pantera's canceled. I don't know. But I'm shocked that it took 7.5 minutes to say Domination. Shocked.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like Propaganda by Sepultura. Yeah, ending breakdown. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, Propaganda by Sepultura. That is a good one.
The beginning of Flying Whales when it just goes into
Flying. Yeah, see, there you go. He goes dan. It sounds so cool, right? Sounds totally cool. You will always impress people. People will always think that you sound like an awesome musical genius when you make the guitar noises with your mouth.
Sickest riff. Oh, I love that riff. Yeah, and then it just goes so hard.
Unfortunately, this band is canceled for praising Pantera. Sorry, guys. Your career's over.
You go with it. Because you can look at a band like Whitechapel or Thyroid's Murder, and then you can look at like Suicide Silence, and then you can also have heavy as in like Lamb of God. Lamb of God's ripping is my favorite riff.
I want to know what's his name? Mike's Dead, the guy with the rollerblader gloves.
I mean, the redneck riff is pretty hard.
I want to know what
11th Hour is a good riff.
Terrible answer he'll have.
It's probably my favorite, so I'm gonna stick with. I'm just gonna say Lamb of God as a whole.
What I really love is Redneck by Lamb of God.
Redneck by Lamb of God. Good. She says it like she's embarrassed. Alicia, there's nothing wrong with liking Lamb of God. They've got some great riffs.
Really love is Redneck by Lamb of God. I love that riff. I just think it's so much fun and just so heavy. I'm gonna go with that one.
She almost seems embarrassed.
into the void. Like, you can't.
He
It's
jumped
like,
the gun.
well, we're on this Black Sabbath kick now. I mean, he was trying to get all philosophical about it. We talked about this.
How could he not say American Badass? This is Lars Ulrich's son. How could he not say American Badass? I'm disappointed.
And he was trying to get all philosophical. But, I mean, that intro riff on Into the Void, I don't know how you beat it. It's just so laid back. It's just like, yeah.
Into the Void. That's a good one.
I feel like it's not even going to be the heaviest riff. It's
Oh boy. Okay, so they asked him, what is the heaviest riff of all time? And he said, it's not going to be the heaviest riff of all time, but come on, Mike. What's going on?
that like everyone knows. Like, I'd say probably like one of Rammstein's biggest songs that like everyone just, because it's so simplistic. It's not even.
He says Rammstein. He's going to learn the hard way that if you mispronounce Rammstein's name, then all the Europeans are going to blow up in the comments about how you mispronounced it and call you a stupid American because you didn't say Rammstein. So you're going to find out the hard way.
The fact that it's heavy. Like Walk by Pantera is heavy.
Oh my God. And he had the nerve to praise Pantera.
All those riffs from fucking Slipknot, heavy. You know, anything off these albums, but it's just more of like, it comes on, like Blind by Korn, like it just comes in where you're like, oh my God, what is, it's just, you're foaming at the mouth. You're like, this is disgusting. That's more of the feeling that I would go for than just like.
Who is he? Why is he in all these videos? I've never heard of this man outside of these videos. Who is he and how did he sneak onto this set?
Jeez, Revolver. Fuck. The heaviest riff of all time.
How are you going to ask Jose to pick just one? But he'll do it because Jose's a team player. You ask him, Jose, tell us the heaviest riff of all time. And he says, sir, yes, sir. Team player. I like Jose.
I got something that came into my head. It jumped into my head. It stage dove into my head. Fucking Bleed. Meshuggah, I just saw them. Maybe they're fresh on my head.
Okay, and you might think that Jose is some dusty old boomer, you know, that's going to say whatever, Thin Lizzy or something. No. Jose's tapped in. He says, Bleed by Meshuggah. Respectable. Good pick.
I saw them last night. Destroy Louder Than Life. And so I have them in my heart and my brain right now. But heavy fucking riff. I mean, wait.
You can tell how hard this is, like eating at his soul, asking him to pick the heaviest riff of all. He's like, it's like choosing, let's say that he had 8 kids and he said, Jose, you can only choose one, the rest must die. And he's like, no, how can you make me do this? No, I'm in emotional agony. And yet he manages to do it. Let's see what he says.
I'm going to go with the breakdown in Dead Embryonic Cells from Sepultura.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I knew I liked Jose. He said Dead Embryonic Cells by Sepultura. I knew I liked this guy. Finally, a man who likes old school Sepultura as much as I do. Finally. Jose, slow clap. Slow clap for Jose.
That fucking part right there, dude. Get out of here. That middle section, and then I go to fucking Walk. I mean, it's not the heaviest one, but it's one of the most iconic ones, so I don't know.
Walk confirmed the most racist guitar riff of all time. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The most racist riff ever made is Walk.
You're going to be standing there.
You know these guys are going to say AC/DC because they say AC/DC for everything, right?
1,000 people, and the riff that comes on. What's the thing that's going to get you going?
What's the riff?
I'd have to say AC/DC's TNT Live.
I fucking told you. I knew they would say Icy Dicey. Knew it. I love it.
Donington.
See? Yeah. I mean, that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's
Nor.
pretty bloody heavy. When AC/DC kick into Let There Be Rock, now that is heavy.
What's that song where James Hetfield's going?
That's American Badass.
That's the start of the Cunning Stunts DVD, which was renamed to Stunning Cunts.
Okay, yep.
But that's the. You boring little fuck. It's not. I fucked it go.
See how cool you sound when you make guitar noise? Always sounds cool.
It's that one. That's pretty heavy too. No, you know what? Fuel's pretty fucking heavy. Fuel's heavy.
I like these guys.
The entire Metallica discography
What's the lifestyle determines my death style? That's my pick. I don't even know the name of that song, but that's my pick.
It is heavy. It's the heaviest riffs of all time.
Okay, there it is, people. Your favorite rockers answered the question, what is the heaviest riff of all time? And a lot of good answers to that question, but I feel like overall the consensus is that it's American Badass by Metallica. And I will say it's a good choice. American Badass is one of my favorite metal songs of all time, and that riff is unbeatable. So there it is. Your favorite rockers have reacted. They told you what the heaviest riff of all time is, and it's American Badass. There you go. Heavy metal